One of the biggest misconceptions about weight loss journey is that it has to be expensive. You need to buy specialty or organic goods or even spend a fortune on fat loss medication. While it may be true for some people with certain conditions, a lot of other people like me can actually lose weight on an affordable diet. It doesn't involve trend or medication. You've probably also heard how difficult it is for a woman in her 40s to lose weight. The metabolism slows down, the hormones shift, and it feels like everything is working against you. And honestly, I used to believe that too. It was hard for me to lose weight, but apparently it was not because of my age. It was because I was unknowingly choosing the wrong types of food. And now I have found a way that is actually working for me. It's a calorie deficit, which was actually one of the few types of diet I tried in the past and failed. I was trying to stay in a calorie deficit for a while, but back then I was doing it wrong. My body was deprived of its basic nutrient needs. Because of that, I was starving constantly and my body was under a great amount of physical stress. It was almost impossible for me to stay consistent because I could not stop thinking about food. The food noise in my head was constant. Thankfully, the story has changed. Almost by chance, I discovered the right kinds of food that make a calorie deficit more manageable. They drastically reduced the constant food noise in my head. And that isn't even the best part. The best part is that all of these food choices are completely affordable for a regular person. They usually cost between $1.50 and $3.50 per pound. And I don't even need a large amount of them each day to feel satisfied. So, what are these cheap foods? Let's break down the five cheap foods that help me lose up to 1 pound a week naturally. I'll start with number one, eggs. Eggs are really one of nature's most nutrient dense foods. Right now, where I live in Alaska, prices can be a bit high, but I can get 5 dozen eggs for around $10.50. When you break that down, each day I only need two or three of them, making it a very cheap source of fuel. Let's also talk about why eggs are a literal cheat code for weight loss. Eggs are the most bioavailable protein source on earth. It just means that our body can easily absorb and use almost 100% of the protein content of eggs. When you are in your 40s and trying to lose weight, protein is the most vital nutrient you need to focus on. It's because when you are in a calorie deficit, you want your body to burn fat, not your hard earned muscle mass. And maintaining your muscle keeps your metabolism going. I keep it incredibly simple because you don't really need fancy recipes with eggs. I just boil a big batch or scramble two or three of them for an easy yet satisfying breakfast. It keeps me full for hours and it costs pennies. Number two is chicken breast. Now, chicken breast is a classic favorite among gym goers and fitness enthusiasts, and for good reason. It contains a high amount of protein with almost no fat. You're looking at around 30 to 32 grams of protein per 4 ounces of cooked chicken breast. Currently, it runs around $3 a pound up here in Alaska, and sometimes I can even catch it on sale for $2 a pound. Honestly, if you look at math, chicken breast actually gives you more protein than eggs for the same cost. But I think a little bit of variety is a good thing. You don't want to get bored with your meals too quickly, or you will be tempted to quit. So I use both of them. My favorite way to prepare chicken breast is to oven bake it. This keeps it nice and juicy so it doesn't get dry and chalky. I often cook a big batch of it so it lasts me for a few meals. Having it ready to go in the fridge prevents me from making bad decisions when I am busy or tired. Number three is legumes, including beans, lentils, or chickpeas. This is actually my newly found weapon for weight loss. I cannot recommend them enough. These little morsels only cost between $1.50 and $3 per pound. And remember, I'm buying these at Alaskan prices, so they might be even cheaper where you live. Here's a great budget tip. 1 pound of dry beans or lentils yields about double its weight after you cook it because it absorbs all that water. At most, I eat about 8 to 12 ounces of cooked legumes daily. What I love about legume is that they are not just a carbohydrate source. They are packed with both protein and fiber. I used to be like a lot of people. I try to avoid carbs as much as possible whenever I was on a weight loss journey. But for me, that backfired spectacularly. Cutting out carbs completely made me dizzy, lethargic, and honestly just miserable. My body needs carbohydrates to function properly. So I fixed it by eating more legumes. When you eat beans or lentils, the carbohydrates come naturally packaged with protein and fiber. And I tell you, legumes really boost my daily totals. My current targets are 110 grams of protein and 30 grams of fiber per day. By meeting my protein and fiber needs with foods like beans and lentils, I very rarely feel hungry. Apparently, the fiber slows down digestion and the protein keeps my satiety hormones happy. I no longer feel that desperate need to snack with my three main meals. Number four is fish. Now I have to give a quick disclaimer here. This one might be slightly biased because I am speaking to you as someone who lives in Alaska. Out here, fish is practically free for us. We spend our summers out on the water catching fish that can last our family for almost an entire year. It's quite a blessing and we don't take it for granted. But if you live somewhere where it's hard or impossible to catch your own fresh fish, don't worry. You can easily resort to canned options like canned tuna, sardines, or canned salmon. They are equally good for you. highly nutritious, and still very affordable. This is one of those instances where a bookstore membership comes in really handy. Buying canned tuna or salmon in bulk keeps the cost per meal incredibly low. Fish is another spectacular source of lean protein and healthy fats. I know you might be tired of me talking about protein at this point, but seriously, I have to emphasize it. This nutrient alongside fiber is a combination that allows me to finally lose weight without starving myself or feeling deprived. Okay, the last one on my list, or number five, is water. Water is really an underrated tool for weight loss. Do you know that a lot of the times when we think we are hungry, we aren't actually hungry at all? We are just dehydrated. The body confuses the signals for thirst and hunger very easily. My current goal is to drink 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. This is especially important for me because now I am on a high fiber diet. If you increase your fiber intake but do not drink enough water, your digestion is going to slow to a painful halt. Water helps everything move along nicely and keeps me feeling physically full between meals. I make it a strict priority to drink a large glass of warm water first thing in the morning to rehydrate after sleeping. And since we have well water here, it's completely free. By figuring out my daily calorie numbers and focusing my grocery budget on these five simple, minimally processed foods, I have found that my current fat loss journey is the most sustainable one I have ever done. I started being serious at the end of April when I found out that I was 155 pounds. And today, June 10th, I'm down to 148. So the scale is finally moving, but more importantly, I feel a lot better. I finally know what my body needs and I am making sure it gets it. That is the real reason I do not feel deprived while losing excess fat. I don't need $1 million or I don't need a complicated plan. I just need a real food. So let me hear from you. Which of these five budget foods is already a staple in your kitchen, and which one do you need to start eating more of? For me, discovering the power of legumes completely changed the game. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.